Hey guys, Anthony here, Bibles and Barbells Ministry. This is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. The time is 8:38 a.m. Eastern Time that I'm making this video. I spent some time yesterday, or actually the last couple of days, going through some of my communication preps, just organizing things, different radios, batteries, headsets, repackaging, re-administering stuff to various gear. And so I decided to put just a little bag together and show you guys. I'll do another video on it. I just wanted to mention it in this video today. But I just took a bag that I had. It's a shoulder bag. And I just converted it, or I'm converting it to carry a couple of radios, some antennas, some booklets, programming guides, how to work the radios, just basic things that chargers, flashlight, and then different attachments like a mic, headsets, stuff like that. Something that I could, if I had to run or leave or go somewhere, I could just grab this and it's enough. It's radios for at least two people, antennas, training guides, whatever I need in this small little kit. And I think it's something that you might want to look into putting together, having like a grab and go kit. A lot of people have like a bug out bag or a go bag, and some people incorporate a radio or something like that as part of that bag. But this is something separate that you could just grab or keep in the car with you when you go on a trip and you're driving, away from home. And you could have something with some comms in it to at least listen to what's going on. Have weather. Last night I was out walking, and I was coming home. It was after 10 p.m. and we got hit with a huge lightning storm. Just started out of nowhere, and I had my radio on my pack. I turned it on to the weather, the weather station, the NOAA weather station, and I heard the reports of dangerous lightning and thunder and storms. And I was able to get home. I had about a half a mile left of a walk, but boy, was it a doozy of a walk. It was really, really tough. I thought I was going to get struck by lightning. I should have actually just stopped and taken cover somewhere. But that's just something I wanted to mention in this video. But the purpose of this video is to I wanted to show you guys and talk about the bird flu summit that's coming, and it's a conference October 2nd through the 4th. It's a climate change preparedness conference. It's a pandemic conference. It's going to take place in Washington, D.C. I'm going to put this link that I'm looking at right now, the link to the bird flu summit, the International Bird Flu Summit, in the description box in this video so you guys can see it. But it's got the agenda, and I strongly advise you to look at the agenda and go look at some of the things they're going to be talking about on the various days. It gives out all the breakout session, the speakers, who's going to be presenting what, and what some of the topics are. And some of the topics are I'll just read a couple of them here. Current emerging approaches in vaccine development, vaccine optimization and equitable access, strengthening antiviral medication distribution systems, enhancing global surveillance networks for timely response. Some of these words that they're using and some of the things they're going to be discussing should have your antennas going up. October is what? We're halfway through July. You got August, September. You got basically 2.5 months before this conference. What is going to take place afterwards, after this conference happens in the rest of October, November, December, and then going into the new year? So this, I think, is giving us a glimpse on where we're headed as a world in the months coming. Another topics that I want to mention here, and I'm not going to mention everything here, I just wanted to mention a few. Strengthening pandemic preparedness in law enforcement and public safety, coordination and implementation of national strategies by government and municipalities, harnessing the role of pandemic alerts for effective information sharing, community engagement and empowerment in preparedness efforts, enhancing interagency collaboration for comprehensive response plans. So you may be saying to yourself, response to what? What? This is what they're saying. I'm not making this agenda up. It's here listed. Um, Understanding the dynamics of the avian flu transmission to humans. These things should be raising antennas. Lessons learned from historical global outbreaks. Mitigation strategies for pandemic influenza mortality. Assessing host range detriments and evolutionary adaptations. Integrating wildlife environmental surveillance for early warning systems. Assessing clinical impacts and healthcare system preparedness. Strengthening first responder capabilities and coordination. Implementing effective crisis communication strategies. Enhancing international cooperation for rapid response and resource mobilization. Here's a couple of ones here. Securing supply chain, shipments, and market access. Okay, you got to read between the lines of a lot of this stuff. You know, securing supply chains, shipments, and market access. What's that telling me? Navigating travel safety protocols and business continuity. Here's a good one. It's going to be at 1:30 to 2 o'clock. Limiting the spread of avian influenza through effective carcass management. Importance of proper carcass disposal methods. Carcass disposal options, pros and cons. So they're going to be killing off chickens, cows, cattle. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of carcasses they're going to be getting rid of or having to get rid of or mitigating. Innovations in carcass management techniques. Community engagement and education for effective carcass disposal. That sounds like an interesting part of the plan. Military preparedness and response plan for pandemic influenza. Real-time tracking of avian influenza on military installations. What? Strategic defense plans for mitigating pandemic influenza impact. Collaboration with civil authorities for seamless response. Coordination regional efforts, lessons learned and best practices. Lessons learned, I take it, may be going back to 2019. Interagency communication for pandemic response. Critical challenges for poultry screening and avian influenza. Standard requirements for influenza testing protocols. Case studies, innovation. This is all part of the of this syllabus. Mass fatality management. Developing, maintain plans and procedures, programs, and systems. This is for mass fatality management. Direct fatality management, tactical operations. Conduct morgue operations. It sounds like they're getting ready for a lot of people to die here. Strategies for operating with 50% or more absenteeism. This is for, like government and business continuity. Dealing with successive waves of pandemic outbreaks. Mitigating disruptions of essential functions of public and private sectors. Implementing essential service continuity plans. Ensuring continuity of government functions. Oh, then there's a coffee break after that session. Let's see. Ensuring safe travel policies. Implementing remote work policies and flexible schedules. It sounds to me, if just by reading some of this, that we're going back to where we came from the last 4 years. Doesn't sound like we're moving forward of staying healthier and the world getting back to normal. It sounds like we're living this dream, this bad nightmare all over again with a different head of the beast. Prioritizing antivirals and personal protective equipment and essential workforce. Here we go again, essential. Who's essential and who's not? Overcoming reduced response capacity and staffing issues. Telling me that people may not be showing up to work for your place of business if you're a business owner right now, restaurant owner. Protecting emergency response operation centers, maintaining supply chain interruptions, and establishing stockpiles. Supply chain interruptions. Handling panic and maintaining public order. Handling panic and maintaining public order. Essential law enforcement personnel, health and safety, safeguarding vaccine and essential goods delivery, managing surge in crime during the pandemic. I'll read that one again. Managing surge in crime during the pandemic, controlling social unrest and public disorder, implementing isolation measures in correctional facilities. Maintaining water and sanitation services, ensuring stability of communication networks. Just talked about having communications or ability to listen to communications via like ham radio, GMRS radio, FRS radio, etc. Simple things. Rather than walking around with your hands on your hips saying, how did this happen? How am I in this predicament where I know nothing that's going on? I'm not allowed out of my house. I've got to follow these protocols. They're being forced upon me, only now worse than they were 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Addressing telecommunications and network overloads. Protecting fire department and personnel health and safety. Transitioning into all hazards incident management responders. Conducting mass vaccination efforts. Enforcing quarantine measures effectively. Hospital and emergency medical services. Prioritizing antivirals and essential resources. What are the antivirals they're going to be using? Are they the same ones with different names in this event? The same ones from Event 201? Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I heard of remdesivir being renamed something else right now in the hospitals. Again, supply chain interruptions and stockpiles. Again, another session on that. Staffing challenges. Maintaining operations with decreased workforce. We are, and again, I'm not going to read each day of this conference, but this is a worldwide conference. People from all over representatives from all over the world will be speaking at this summit. Again, it's October 2nd to the 3rd, and with a workshop on October 4th. It's the Climate Change Preparedness Conference or International Bird Flu Summit. So something must be very important, and there must be a lot of things that are going to be taking place for them to invest so much time and energy into putting something like this together and having all these levels of protocols in place prior to the arrival of maybe something coming down the pike. So this is something that I know everybody's busy going to the Republican National Convention and talking about the Trump assassination attempt and, voting and all this other stuff. I would strongly urge you to pull back out of that system and get your affairs in order pertaining to what's coming based on this conference. Things like supplies and medicines and safeguarding your homestead and communications. Everything they're listing here, you should do in a mini conference with your family members on how this is going to affect you and your family going down the road. What are you going to how are you going to respond to mass vaccination efforts? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if they don't let you to work? If you don't get a paycheck? If you can't go to the marketplace and buy goods and food and your water system's contaminated? Maybe the bird's going to fly into the water system. Do you have water filtration, disinfection, sanitation? Where are you going to dump your waste? These are all things. I'm also going to post a link to a video. I used to have it on my channel, but they took it down years ago. It's called After Armageddon, and it's related to this. I think it was made in 2010. The one that I have as a link to is a little bit fuzzy, but it's still watchable. It's an hour and a half. I would strongly urge you to watch what happens to the family in this video scenario. Listen to the professionals that are narrating it and giving their opinions on what happens when this type of pandemic hits. And then knowing what we went through from 2019 through now, and knowing what's coming, or giving a glimpse of what's coming, prepare accordingly. That's my video for today. Thanks for watching. Stay ready. Anthony signing off.